you're going to be down bad. That's over $1,000, guys, for a 20-pound weight increase. That's insane. Chest up, shoulders back. Welcome to Revival Fitness, everybody. I'm going to save you a lot of money today. We're going to talk about the biggest wastes of money and waste of space people make when purchasing items for their home gym. And if you haven't gotten started on your home gym journey yet, you're pretty stupid. You better start, because this isn't going to get any better. So let's get right into it. The first item is bumper plates or calibrated plates. If you're not aware, there are essentially three main types of plates you're going to buy for a gym. One is going to be traditional cast iron or steel. Two is going to be bumper plates made of plastic. And three is going to be calibrated plates. Those are also made of cast iron and steel, but they are more expensive. We'll get into that in a second. What you need to know is that aside from cast iron, the other two are not cost effective. Bumper plates are meant to absorb impact. They are generally used in CrossFit gyms, Olympic weightlifting, places where the weights are going to be hitting the ground a lot. Now, to be clear, just because you deadlift does not really mean you need bumper plates. To reduce noise on deadlifts, because the range of motion is not that drastic, you could easily get foam padding or some sort of flooring that is far, far less expensive than paying for bumper plates. The other factor to consider too with these plates is that cast iron is going to take up less space. Bumper plates are generally bigger than traditional cast iron plates. For example, a 10-pound bumper plate is the same dimensions as a 45-pound cast iron plate a lot of the time. The other consideration too is noise. So if you are a family man, family person, you've got kids sleeping early in the morning, maybe an apartment complex, neighbors complaining, if you're considerate, because a lot of people aren't. Now, in terms of calibrated plates, only really exist because they are meticulously weighed out by the manufacturer, and they're going to charge you for it. You don't see guys like Brad Castleberry using calibrated plates. So unless you're a competitive powerlifter, there's really no need for these. Now, of course, it is nicer to know that every one of your plates is dead on the nose of what it's supposed to weigh, but the difference isn't going to be that huge. Okay, if you're somebody like me, you got all your stuff in a home gym fire sale, right? You're just on a bunch of apps and websites all day finding your stuff. Chances are that most of your stuff is either used and or from different brands. It should not be that big of a deal. The real deal in this regard is the hundreds, if not thousands of dollars you're going to save from avoiding specialty plates and going with traditional old cast iron. The second item to avoid wasting your money on is cheap barbells. Do not buy cheap barbells. So if you search barbells on eBay, you commonly will come across these cheap $100, $110 bars. They're all over the place. And when you compare them to the typical Rogue or Elite FTS or name brand bars that cost $200, $300, $400, those look very appealing. But I reiterate, do not fall for it. These cheap bars become totally useless once you get out of the tadpole stage of your training. And even worse, the more you use them, the more risk they give to you. They generally have very low weight capacities, which they'll try to hide it too. A lot of them will say they can hold up to 1,000 pounds or 500 pounds. It's really only 300 pounds. And while that low weight capacity might not sound that bad, and for some people it's not, okay? If you're somebody who's an extremely casual trainee, maybe if you're especially women who don't want to lift that heavy, that's not that big of a deal for you. But if you're serious about the gains rate, squatting, deadlifting, benching, adding heavy weight to the bar, these are going to be a disaster. You're going to outgrow them pretty quickly, and then you have to buy a bigger, more stable bar anyway. So why not just get that from the start? Consider also a lot of these cheaper barbells have little to no knurling. You're probably going to drop it. If you do deadlifts or heavy squats, that type of thing, the bar can start to bend. And if it's made out of cheap material, guess what? It's going to be bent forever. You guys got to realize, if you find a 7-foot Olympic barbell that is only $100, it's a piece of shit. Okay, that $200 you might save buying your cheap little Amazon barbell is not going to mean a lot whenever your bar permanently bends or snaps in half when you're using it. Then you have to buy a whole new one anyway. Item number 3, not to waste your money on. A flat bench. Now, of course, there's nothing wrong with the flat bench in itself, but if you can buy adjustable ones, why would you not do that? And I get the concern, okay? Most adjustable benches aren't going to be as sturdy as like a bolt-down flat bench. But ultimately, what are you really going to be doing that's that damaging to the bench? What do you really use a bench for? Bench press, incline bench press, decline bench press, dumbbell bench press, maybe some dumbbell rows supporting your chest, but that's it. There is not really an exercise that is going to be so heavy that your bench is at any real risk. Most of us aren't going to be benching 500, 600, 700 pounds. And by the way, I'm not talking about those flimsy piece of crap benches with the leg extension attached to it that wobble. I'm talking about a decent, legitimate $100, $200 bench like these here on Amazon or on eBay. So you don't have to shell out $500, $600, $700 for an expensive Rogue adjustable bench or anything like that. These $100, $200 ones are going to get the job done. And if they are a little bit unsteady, if they wobble a little bit, all you have to do is put some plates on the legs and they're going to be steady. The next waste of money here is going to be kind of a combination. It is dumbbells and or kettlebells. So these are quietly some of the most expensive pieces of home gym equipment there is. I'm recording this in December 2020. The absolute best price you're gonna find right now for weights is $2 a pound. So if you want a legitimate rack of dumbbells or kettlebells right now, even if you could find free shipping on all of those, you're still gonna be looking at, potentially thousands of dollars for even a decent setup. You're gonna be down bad. Let's just do some quick math here. Let's say you wanna get 50 up to 70 pound dumbbells. That's it. Say 50, 55, 60, 65, 70 pounds. 50 times 2 is 100, 55 times 2 is 110, 60 times 2 is 120, 65 times 2 is 130, 70 times 2 is 140. So that's $600. And then you're gonna double it because you're buying dumbbells, so you get 2 of each. That's over $1,000, guys, for a 20-pound weight increase. That's insane. And additionally, of course, buying all those dumbbells or kettlebells is a space problem. Most of us do not have an entire rack to run to put dumbbells or kettlebells on. And in the same vein, they're not changeable, right? 50-pound dumbbell is a 50-pound dumbbell. You cannot adjust it. You can't take plates on or off of it. Same with the kettlebells. It's a static weight. This is where the adjustable dumbbell and kettlebell handles come into play. These things are usually around $50 to $100 per handle, and they're going to be a one-time purchase. You can add plates to them whenever you want. You've already paid for those plates for the barbell, right? Why would you keep paying for a bunch of set-in-stone weights when you could adjust the weights whenever you want? Handles like these are not going to be as aesthetically pleasing as traditional dumbbells or kettlebells, but in terms of cost effectiveness and space saving, they are infinitely better. If you guys want more information on adjustable dumbbells, click the video in the top right. I break that down in more detail there. Now going on to the next item. This one is a bit more out there, but people still waste money on this. It is machines and cable stations. Now, people really love their machine for this or their cables to isolate and squeeze and everything. Those have their place in a big gym, but in a home gym, they are impractical at best and absurdly expensive at worst. And I'll tell you this, if you've got only 100, 200 square feet to work with and your first thought is, hey, I'm gonna get a cable machine instead of a squat rack, you're pretty stupid. These things are hundreds, if not thousands, sometimes even tens of thousands of dollars. Now, of course, they're not all that expensive. The economic alternative to these is going to be like pulley machines, carabiners, maybe some lat pull-down attachments that are plate-loaded, some things like that, and those are certainly doable. The plates can swing back and forth and hit the wall or whatever, so it's not guaranteed to be sturdy. And you can't really do anything with machines or pulley systems that you cannot do with a barbell, body weight, and a pull-up bar. Okay, think about back. Pull-ups, chin-ups, rows, okay? Pushing muscles, dip bars, push-ups, bench press, floor press. Even with legs, squats, lunges, deadlifts. It might not be as ideal, especially for low back fatigue, but beggars can't be choosers, man. This is home gym time. You're not going to be able to get everything perfectly how you like it. And in terms of cable stations, there is nothing you can't do with a cable station that resistance bands can't replace. All you gotta do is tie a resistance band to your squat rack or your wall and you have a cable station. It's essentially the same thing. And resistance bands are extremely inexpensive and there's no maintenance required either. So for all those reasons, if you're looking at big machines or cable stations, unless you've just got money to burn on it, do not do it. And finally, we're gonna finish up a quick one, cheap flooring. I talked about this in my old home gym tour video, guys. When you buy flooring for a home gym, you need to buy horse stall mats. Okay, especially if you like to drop weight, deadlifts, Olympic lifts, whatever. Buying these soft foam pads is not going to cut it. Even if you're just doing squats and bench press for a stable surface, overhead pressing right, you do not need to be slipping and sliding on these foam pads. These are decent for like calisthenics and floor work and warming up and that type of thing, but genuine lifting is not meant to take place on these little foam pads, these little puzzle pieces, okay? You need to get hard, solid rubber, something that is stable, that can take weight, and that might cost you a little bit more money, but it's going to save your health and your gains in the long run. So this has been it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope it has been helpful. Drop any questions or comments you have below or say anything to help the algorithm. Like, subscribe, and I will catch you next time.